Hi, I'm Ben Fong Torres. I'm a lifelong fan of music, and I've been really lucky to have two of the best jobs in the world. This is back in the 70s. I was an editor and writer at Rolling Stone magazine, and on weekends, a DJ at a free-form rock station playing whatever I wanted. At the magazine, I often wrote about movies, and I always appreciated how some films would be enhanced by a musical soundtrack, or even just a song, like Spike Lee's Crooklyn, or in Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola uses just a few, but they were so memorable.
Forrest, I told you not to bother this nice young man.
This film has a remarkable soundtrack and score. It's a combination of a traditional orchestral score and then a mini library of rock and roll history, 45 popular songs ranging from the late 50s into 1980, perfectly matched to the action and characters and storyline of Forrest Gump.
As I started working on the movie, I realized music was going to be a very big part of the film, because I felt that the music was historical signposts and they were musical icons for the audience.
And the music was just a great vehicle to take people back to that period.
I mean, you sort of know that all that couldn't have happened to one guy, right? But somehow they made you believe
That it did.
that it did. And this film, the music was an integral part.
This is art and cinema. The way the two things come together, the way the use of music and the story that's being told, it's one of the most artistic things I've seen come out of Hollywood in the last decade.
We had an opportunity to create a musical timeline that hadn't been done really for quite some time, since maybe American Graffiti, but we were covering 3 decades. Essentially, I created a library of material, records that I thought were great, and built a library of favorite artists and favorite cuts.
We narrowed the music down to American artists, because we just knew we would have been overwhelmed by the entire British invasion. But it was an American story, and it was about American history and what was going on in America. I didn't know it at the time, but what happened was, in a very interesting way, Alan's music underscores very specifically the feelings of the characters, where the records underscore the feelings of the time. My criteria for songs were, first and foremost, what was emotionally correct for the scene. What was right for what the character was feeling, what I wanted the audience to feel.
Got mail, go get it.
Also, it had to be correct for the period of time we were in. As if there was always a radio playing in the scene, what would be playing on that radio at that given time.
Well, soundtracks these days are different in that back about 25 or even 35 years ago, in the early 70s with American Graffiti, when that album came out with all those hit songs reflecting the beginning of rock and roll and the power of a DJ like Wolfman Jack, a person who was a rock fan could gather all of her or his favorite songs in one album. And the same thing happened again in the early 80s, 1983, for the Big Chill. I think it reminded the boomer generation of that time of Motown music and other great songs of that period. And with 45 songs from 1956 to 1980 on Forrest Gump, again, an audience had the chance to do that. In this feature, you'll learn more about the songs that were chosen for the movie and how they help to tell the story, the remarkable story of Forrest Gump.